For years, the Su-57 has been one of the most debated fighter jets in modern aviation. Russia claims it is a cutting-edge fifth-generation stealth fighter that can rival Western counterparts like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. Yet despite being in development for over 2 decades, it remains a rare sight in Russia's Air Force, with only a handful produced. Some say it is an underestimated powerhouse, while others believe it's nothing more than a propaganda tool. But what's the truth? Is the Su-57 truly a next-generation game-changer, or is it a jet that will never live up to its promises? Let's break it all down. How the Su-57 came to be. To truly understand the origins of the Su-57, we need to go back in time to the height of the Cold War, an era of intense military competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. During this period, both superpowers were locked in an arms race, constantly striving to outmatch each other in nuclear capabilities, strategic defense systems, and, most importantly, air superiority. By the 1980s, the US had taken a major leap forward with the Advanced Tactical Fighter (ATF) program, which aimed to develop the world's first fifth-generation stealth fighter. This effort eventually led to the birth of the F-22 Raptor, an aircraft designed to dominate air combat with its stealth, speed, and advanced avionics. The Soviet Union, recognizing the potential of stealth technology and advanced fighter capabilities, launched its own response. However, there was a crucial difference in design philosophy between the two nations. The US prioritized low observability, stealth, above all else, aiming to develop a fighter that could evade enemy radar entirely. Meanwhile, Soviet engineers believed that a fighter jet should focus on a combination of maneuverability, speed, and firepower, rather than relying solely on stealth. This ideological difference led to the development of the MiG-1.44, a next-generation prototype designed to rival the F-22. However, with the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the project was abandoned due to severe economic difficulties. Russia, now an independent nation, needed a fresh start if it wanted to stay competitive in aerial warfare. That's where Sukhoi, one of Russia's premier aerospace firms, entered the picture. The birth of the Su-57. In the early 2000s, the Russian government recognized the necessity of developing a fifth-generation fighter jet that could challenge US air dominance. This led to the launch of the PAKFA, Prospective Aviation Complex for Frontline Aviation program. The objective was clear: develop a fighter that could rival the F-22 and serve as Russia's primary next-generation aircraft. Sukhoi won the contract and began designing a jet that would integrate stealth capabilities with extreme agility and cutting-edge technology. This aircraft was initially known as the T-50 prototype and took to the skies for its maiden flight in 2010. Shortly after, it was officially designated as the Su-57, marking its place as the future backbone of the Russian Air Force. However, unlike the F-22 Raptor, the Su-57 wasn't designed to be a direct copy of its American counterpart. Instead, it followed a distinct Russian design philosophy that aimed to strike a balance between stealth, maneuverability, and combat versatility. But how does it really compare to the F-22? Let's take a closer look. Su-57 versus F-22. How do they compare? From the moment the Su-57 was unveiled, aviation experts and military analysts couldn't resist comparing it to the F-22 Raptor. At first glance, both jets appear sleek, futuristic, and built for stealth, but their design philosophies set them apart. The F-22 Raptor was built with stealth as the top priority. Its airframe was designed to be as smooth and radar reflective as possible, featuring a blended body design to minimize radar detection, internal weapons bays to reduce radar reflections, angled surfaces that deflect enemy radar signals. The Su-57, on the other hand, takes a more balanced approach. While it does incorporate stealth elements, it prioritizes maneuverability and speed, making it more comparable to older Russian fighters like the Su-35. Some key differences include engine placement. The F-22's engines are deeply embedded in the fuselage to lower its radar cross-section, while the Su-57's engines are more exposed, increasing detectability. Thrust vectoring capabilities. The Su-57 uses 3D thrust vectoring nozzles, allowing it to perform extreme aerobatic maneuvers, giving it an advantage in close-range dogfights. Radar-absorbing materials. The F-22 is coated with a highly advanced RAM to minimize its radar signature, whereas the Su-57 relies more on shaping techniques rather than extensive coatings. The Su-57's biggest weakness: its engines. Of the most significant issues holding the Su-57 back is its engines. Originally, the Su-57 was supposed to be equipped with the Izdelia 30 engines, which would have given it the ability to supercruise, fly at supersonic speeds without using afterburners. However, as of 2024, these engines are still in development. Instead, current Su-57 models are powered by AL-41F1 engines, an upgraded version of those used in the Su-35. While these engines are powerful, they do not provide true supercruise capability, meaning the Su-57 isn't as fast or fuel efficient as originally intended. This delay has been one of the biggest obstacles to the Su-57 reaching its full potential. However, despite its flaws, the Su-57 does boast some cutting-edge technology. That makes it a formidable aircraft. Advanced features and weapons of the Su-57. Despite its flaws, the Su-57 boasts some impressive technological advancements that make it a formidable aircraft in modern air combat. Let's take a closer look at what sets this fighter apart. Number 1. Thrust vectoring nozzles. One of the Su-57's standout features is its three-dimensional thrust vectoring nozzles. Unlike conventional fighter jets that rely purely on aerodynamic control surfaces, the Su-57 can manipulate the direction of its engine thrust. This allows it to execute extreme maneuvers that most Western fighters, including the F-22, would struggle to replicate. This makes the Su-57 exceptionally agile in close-range dogfights, where maneuverability can determine the outcome of an engagement. Russian pilots have demonstrated the Su-57 performing post-stall maneuvers like the famous Cobra and Kolbit maneuvers, which allow it to outmaneuver opponents in a tight combat scenario. However, while these maneuvers are useful in one-on-one engagements, their effectiveness in modern, beyond visual range, BVR combat is still debated. Number 2. The Loyal Wingman Drone. One of the most futuristic aspects of the Su-57 is its integration with the S-70 Okhotnik B, a stealth combat drone designed to serve as its loyal wingman. This drone is meant to fly alongside the Su-57, extending its radar reach, assisting in surveillance, and even carrying out autonomous strikes on enemy targets. The concept of loyal wingman drones is something that the US and China are also exploring. The advantage is clear. By working alongside a fleet of AI-powered drones, the Su-57 can reduce its own risk exposure while still engaging enemy aircraft and ground targets. Number 3. Hypersonic missiles. Another major advantage of the Su-57 is its ability to carry Kinjal hypersonic missiles. These missiles can travel at speeds exceeding Mach 10 and have a range of over 2,000 km, making them incredibly difficult to intercept. While the F-22 and F-35 rely on conventional air-to-air and air-to-ground missiles, the Su-57's hypersonic capability provides a significant edge in long-range engagements. Hypersonic missiles have been a major point of concern for NATO forces, as their speed and maneuverability make them almost impossible to counter with current missile defense systems. If the Su-57 is equipped with multiple Kinjal missiles, it could pose a severe threat to enemy forces, particularly aircraft carriers and high-value ground targets. Number 4. Internal weapons bays. The Su-57 features internal weapons bays to reduce radar cross-section, similar to the F-22 and F-35. However, in contrast to the American approach, the Su-57 also has external hardpoints for additional weapons. While this increases its versatility, it also makes the aircraft more visible to enemy radar when fully armed. Its internal weapons loadout includes advanced air-to-air missiles, precision-guided bombs, and even nuclear-capable payloads. However, its limited internal capacity means that in missions requiring heavier firepower, it may have to rely on external weapons, sacrificing stealth in the process. The Su-57's biggest weakness. Despite its impressive capabilities, the biggest issue facing the Su-57 isn't its stealth or engine performance. It's Russia's inability to mass-produce the aircraft. As of 2025, only 22 Su-57s have been produced, with a goal of 76 units by 2028. However, considering the logistical and economic hurdles Russia faces, even this modest target seems ambitious. By contrast, the United States has produced over 180 F-22 Raptors and more than 970 F-35s. The massive production gap means that, in the event of a large-scale conflict, the Su-57 would be heavily outnumbered by NATO's fifth-generation fighters. So, why is Russia struggling to produce the Su-57 in significant numbers? Number 1. Budget constraints. Developing and mass-producing fifth-generation fighter jets is extremely expensive. Unlike the US, which has a military budget exceeding $800 billion annually, Russia operates on a much smaller budget, making large-scale production difficult. Number 2. Sanctions and supply chain issues. Western sanctions have severely restricted Russia's ability to acquire critical aerospace components. Advanced microchips, avionics, and stealth materials, many of which are sourced from Western countries, are now harder to obtain. Number 3. Technical challenges. The Su-57's engines and avionics are still in development. The Izdeliye-30 engine, which is supposed to give the aircraft true supercruise capability, is still not operational, forcing Russia to use older AL-41F1 engines. With these challenges in mind, many experts believe the Su-57 will remain a niche aircraft produced in small numbers rather than becoming a backbone fighter like the F-35. Will other countries buy the Su-57? Given Russia's difficulty in producing large numbers of Su-57s, there has been speculation that foreign sales could help fund additional production. However, so far, interest from international buyers has been limited. Russia has pitched the Su-57 to several countries, including India, China, and Algeria. While there was initial interest from India as part of the Joint Fifth-Generation Fighter Aircraft (FGFA) program, India ultimately pulled out, citing concerns over the Su-57's stealth capabilities and overall performance. China, which has its own fifth-generation fighter, the J-20 Mighty Dragon, has also shown little interest, preferring to develop its own stealth fighter program. The most likely buyers are countries with close defense ties to Russia, such as Algeria, Vietnam, and possibly Iran. However, due to sanctions and financial constraints, even these potential deals remain uncertain. The Su-57 is a fascinating aircraft. It has incredible maneuverability, advanced weapons, and drone integration, but it falls short in stealth and production numbers. So, is it truly a next-generation fighter, or is it just Russian propaganda? For now, the Su-57 remains a work in progress, but if Russia can overcome its challenges, it could still become a major player in air combat. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more military aviation content.